So hey, what's up guys? This is your friend Code Cruz, and today we are going to understand how can we deploy our Node.js or Express.js application in a free hosting service called Render. Of course, there are other options or alternatives to it in the market, but for the sake of this video, we're just gonna focus on deploying our Node.js Express.js service to Render. So without any further ado, let's get started the video. So I'm going to basically open this folder in our VS Code and yeah. And now, first of all, let's initialize our Node.js or Express.js application, right? So first of all, I'm gonna create um, something called as app.js that is going to be the entry point of our application. And let's open our terminal and let's do npm init so that we get our package.json file npm init and this double dash and y basically means to initialize it with all the default values. So yeah, we got our package.json. Now basically what we need to do is we need to install a couple of packages since we are going to be using Express here. So let's install Express first. npm install Express. And let's also install NodeMon because NodeMon basically gives us the thing that is basically if we are using Node app.js, we need to restart our server multiple times to see the changes. But NodeMon basically comes really handy because it refreshes and restarts the server by itself every time we just save a file. So let's install npm I NodeMon. Okay. So okay, we have installed the basic setup which we need to get started. So first of all, let's do const express. Let's import our express package via express. Okay. And here what we need to do is const app. We're just creating a basic express app. Okay. So app, we are going to create an instance of it, right? And we need to basically make it listen at some port, right? For example, port of 3000. And let's write here some console log message so that we understand that our server is up and running. So I'm going to type here server is up and running at port 3000. Okay, that's cool. And now I think that is the basic setup. And basically, let's define a route so that we can like hit that route and understand what's happening. So for this, we are going to have a get method. So a get request that is basically the default /1. Okay, and it takes two things. That is one is request, and another is response. And we want to send some response back and response send and this is going to be on each one tag. I'm just giving some basic HTML stuff and it is going to be welcome to code tools channel, please subscribe. Okay, yeah, this is the basic thing. You do consider subscribing if you haven't subscribed yet. So okay, we have initialized our basic Express server, right? Now let's test it out there. We go to the 3000 Okay, it's not working because we haven't uh, started the server. That is nodemon. We are starting it, and the server is up and running. I will show this stuff. Yes, it shows. Our server is up and running at port 3000. So let's test it. Let's refresh it. And as we can see, welcome to Postgres channel. Please subscribe. So one more thing here I want to show it to you is basically how do we handle ENVs as well. When basically this is a very simple application. It doesn't require any ENV or something like that, but I am going to show you one of them. But basically whenever you will be working on some big project or something like that, or building some backend for some project, it is very obvious that there will be certain API keys and like for example database connection strings that you don't want to give it to the public, like you want to keep it a secret. So those things will have to be stored in .env files, right? So while deploying the application, the backend application to your backend, sorry, to the hosting service, at that time you have to configure all these envs and stuff as well, so that your app doesn't crash, right? So okay, so let's create one env file here. Okay, dot env, and here let's have some secret message. Okay, like a very generic one, secret message. This is basically going to be a key if you are just working on some big project or something like that, or your side projects. You are definitely going to be having a connection URL and a variety of other stuff. But just for the like sake of this video, I am providing a secret message as I am a secret message. Okay, so this is the thing. And now, in order to use this env, we can access it using process.env. But before that, we have to install one package that is called .env. npm install .env. Okay, we have installed it. That was quick. Now let's import this stuff. That is .env equals require, and this is .env and .env config. That's all we have to do here. And now let's create another route. There's also going to be a get route. You can make any route as per your requirement. So let's name this route as secret. Okay. And it's gonna take a request, it's gonna take a response, and rest send, and it's gonna save as secret message, or like let's just say that stuff. Let's keep it very simple. Secret message is, and let's use a tactic, and here it's going to be process dot env dot, let's go to env. This is named as secret message, right? So we'll be pasting secret message. And if we save it, our server will restart. Okay. So now let's test it out. That is localhost 3000. It's working fine. Now if I move on to secret, I guess we have named our route as secret, right? And I click on this, and as you can see, secret message, I am secret message. Since our secret message was I am a secret message, right? So we are getting this here. So now uh, what we need to do, we have built our basic application which is ready for deployment, right? So what I'm going to be doing is create a repository in GitHub, right? So let's create a repository in our GitHub. Let's move on to GitHub, and let me create a repository real quick. This repository should be named as like host YT. Okay, and this should be public and whatever. Let's keep it to default. Let's create our repository, and yeah. So now we have to keep certain things in our mind. Firstly, let's create a git ignore file. So in the git ignore file, what are the things that we are going to be having? The main things are node modules. We don't want to include our node modules into the GitHub because this is a very huge file, and like whenever you will be configuring while hosting, there are certain configurations which you'll be making. So there only you can like create a build command or something like that where you will be including the command of npm install. So from there it can get the node models pretty easily. So there is another file that is the env. Since I told you, envs are the secret files out there, so it shouldn't be kept to the public. Like it shouldn't be there in your GitHub repository, right? So it's going to be .env, and I guess we are good to go. So now what we are going to be doing is git init to initialize this, git add all of them. Let's take it with git status. Okay. As you can see, it is not taking the node models and .env. Okay, fine. Now we should commit ready to deploy and git push minus u origin master, for example. Okay, so we cannot directly push it. We have to first of all add the remote origin. Okay, so what is the origin? What is the repository in which I want to push? So git remote add origin, and we have to add this connection string. Sorry, not a connection string, but just this thing. Okay. Uh, and git push minus u origin aspect. And it's pushed successfully. Let's refresh it. And as we can see, our application has been pushed successfully to our GitHub repo. Now, what we need to do is we need to go to render.com. And since I have logged in always, like I have already an account into it. If you don't have, don't worry, just connect your or log in and log into your render account using your GitHub profile. And now, if I go to my dashboard, I can see a couple of projects which I have posted, right? So, okay, that's fine. So here is the new, and you have to go to this new, and here there is a static site is our like actually Node.js application is static site no, it's a web service, right? So we have to go to web service. And here we can see build and deploy from a Git repository. Exactly, I want to build and deploy from a Git repository. And here it will be showing me a list of repositories which I am having. And for instance, it's the host ID. I will click on connect. It's taking some time to load. Wait. Why is it taking so much time? Let's just wait. Yeah, it came. Now it's host ID. You can provide any name of your choice, and branches master. Root directory is basically dot slash, that is whatever it is, our root directory. If you are providing your files or something like that inside of some src, so do provide like, for example, like src or something like that. But for instance, we are having this, the whatever directory you are providing is just it is in the root directory, right? So it's like this. And here build command is yarn. No, not yarn. It's npm install. We're not using yarn. If someone is using yarn, we can go ahead with yarn. And start command is our node. And what is our file name? app.js, right? So node app.js. And now we are using the free tier. So there is one problem with the free tier. Basically, if you are like providing some money or using some premium plan, you guys won't be able to like you guys will not be having any issue. But if you're using a free tier, the only downside that vendor has is it's your service will spin off after like 15 minutes of inactivity. So what does a spin off mean? Is basically if your service hasn't received any request like for around 15 minutes or so. So it goes a bit inactive, right? So after 15 minutes, when you create a new request or send a new request to your service, it is gonna take some time to process your request. So sometime means like around 30 to 40 seconds. After which it will again be like back into action. And after which if again for 15 minutes you are not using it, then again it spills out. So that is basically the thing in the free tier. That is the only downside which I have faced. Other than that, everything works pretty decent in Render. So, okay, I am using the free tier and let's move here. And here are environment variables or the envs which we have configured. So in your project, it might be some database string or secret key or whatever it is we are using in a project. But for the sake of this project, we have used env, right? So if I go here, here is my env, right? And if I click on add from env, I will just copy this stuff and I will just paste this stuff. That's it. And if I click on add variables, so in case if you're using an environment variables, so make sure you add your environment variables or else your application might crash at production or something like that. So yeah, it looks fine. So now let's create on, let's click on create a website. Let's click on this and let's wait for some time till it successfully deploys our application to render. And we just have to watch this. It will take some time. It takes basically 2 to 3 minutes to do so. Let's wait. So finally, after a few minutes, uh, it's showing server is up and running at port 3000. So, okay, let's check it out. Let's click on this link which we have got here and it will open. It is taking some time. Okay, let's see. If then if I run this here, let's wait for a few minutes. And finally, as we can see, it has finally been posted into the posted, like the site has been finally posted, right? So our backend is working fine. And like if I go for the secret route, just check it out. Yep, it shows correctly, like secret message and the secret message. So it displays that env file data correctly, right? So yeah, that's pretty much about it. And we have successfully posted our Express.js or Node.js application. So that's all for today's video. And I'll be back with some more such content. So till then, bye bye and thank you.